What's up, y'all? Quick little video today. I just wanted to give you guys another snippet. I've been doing a lot of these snippets recently, so I want to give you a little snippet into one of the camera gear episodes. This is a series that we did on Learn Cinematography where we have like 3 or 4 episodes about all the essential camera gear that we use and that we feel people should know about, use, or need on set. And so this is a snippet from one of those episodes where you can just learn about all the essential pieces of gear and how they can help you, your production out, just on any level. So enjoy this preview, and if you want to learn more, if you like what you see, go check it out. Links will be in the description below, learncinematography.com. And yeah, we just look forward to just creating as much helpful and dope content for you guys as possible to up your game and reach those next levels and tiers in the film industry. So enjoy.
So continuing on, next up we have EarTech headphones. I am a huge fan of these. They do, yes, make walkie-talkies. If you found yourself on set, there are walkie-talkies that have a surveillance. This is more geared for the camera operator or DP if you're operating the camera, and the director or AC. So I have 3 of these. So I'd be wearing one, and then the AC and director would be wearing the other one. And I love these because when you're on a music video set, I can't tell you how many times the playback is glaring, it is super loud, and you have the director like, move in, and then you're operating the camera like, did he say move out? So wearing an ear tech, it's noise canceling on this ear, and you have a direct line of communication, or even on like a narrative project, maybe not even a music video, but if you're operating the camera, maybe you're doing this elaborate one-er, the director can be in your ear and say, okay, tilt up, okay, cool, we're gonna move right, great, okay, and pull back. And literally otherwise, I mean, he would have to be yelling that across the set, ruining your booms, audio, because you'd hear the director being like, no, go in closer. So I highly recommend these. The company that makes these is EarTech. We'll link that definitely below. And they have different kits. They literally, if you want to just get started, they have a 1-to-1 kit. I bought the 1-to-2 kit, but literally, I mean, on the higher end, if you find yourself wanting more, you can add more of these later. They make even like a 1-to-6. So I could be wearing a headset as the DP, and my audio commands could be going to 6 different people. So highly recommend this if you find yourself in music videos and you are tired of that, age-old problem of the playback being glaring loud and you cannot hear the director or the AC saying like, hey, you're at close focus, and you don't know that because you're literally operating the camera and you cannot hear him say that to you. So this gives you a direct line of communication with your ACs and director, which I always find is a great thing to have in your kit. Another couple camera essentials that I cannot live without are a viewfinder. I have 2 forms. I have a digital viewfinder, which basically is an iPad with the Artemis app. And the Artemis app basically is, I believe, like a 25, I'll have to find the exact price, but it is a purchasable app through the App Store or Google Play Store. But what it allows you to do is actually input the camera that you're using, which might be a Red Gemini, it might be a DSLR, and it allows you to actually select the right lenses. And what's nice is every camera actually has different sensors, so if you're shooting on a helium, a 25mm might be a little wider, or if you're shooting on a crop sensor, a 25mm might actually be a lot tighter. So you can input that data into this. And what I really like is this case. This is basically a clamshell that has like a built-in lens. And what the lens does is it actually helps unwrap or kind of focus up the lens on an iPad, because you can see, look at what we're working with. I mean, that is such a small lens on an iPad, and you inherently get these like super fisheye shots. So when you kind of put it through here, it actually makes the Artemis app a little bit more accurate. So this is basically a shell. I believe the manufacturer is like Iconographer. I'll definitely link this below, but this definitely allows you to, I'll kind of flip this around. You take your iPad, you can literally just click it in, and now you have a shell. You can walk around, and this is so helpful because as a DP who operates, and I operate Steadicam as well, when you're in that rig or you're holding the camera, right when you put it on, right when you start wearing or holding the camera, your energy level, no matter how strong you are, is going to start to diminish. That might take 5 minutes, that may take 10 minutes, but by the end of that time, you're going to be exhausted and you won't be performing at your peak, ability. So what I love to do is before putting on the camera, before putting on the Steadicam, let's just rehearse the shot. I mean, if the idea of doing an elaborate one or something involves the camera, what I like is be able to have the director over my shoulder with the app, and I can actually screen record this by just swiping up and doing like a screen record function. And then we can actually review this as if it was the Red camera. Like I said, the Artemis app allows you to choose Red Gemini with a 25mm Sigma lens. So you're gonna get a pretty accurate sense of framing. So I could rehearse maybe 2 or 3 times without my rig. So then when I put on the Steadicam, we might nail it the first try. We might nail it the second try, opposed to having to do 5 takes in the Steadicam where you round a corner like, fuck, the C-stand's in the shot. Why not find out that the C-stand's in the shot by rehearsing with something that literally weighs like a couple pounds? So highly recommend this. It does involve needing an iPad. So if this is a little out of your price point, there is the analog version. This is a director's viewfinder made by Alan Gordon. I actually purchased this at Film Tools. I find that this is incredibly helpful, especially if you are not using this. This basically has different focal lengths built in and different aspect ratios built in. So you can first lock your aspect ratio. So say you want to be at a 240 or whatever, you can zoom in and it actually tells you what your focal length would be on 35mm, 16mm, which is like a crop sensor, and so on. So once you find your right focal length, I love, being able to use a viewfinder, either analog or a digital viewfinder, to basically lock the frame in before bringing in all the gear. Because if you say are bringing in a dolly or maybe bringing in a bunch of stuff, it only takes seconds to go run over to a corner, get on your knee and frame it up and be like, okay, cool, let's put the camera right here. Opposed to having all your ACs or yourself move the camera all the way over to a certain spot. And then you're like, oh, actually it needs to be higher. Oh, it needs to be this. So I love to frame up with the viewfinder first and literally like almost plant my feet on the ground and then tell the AC or whoever, like, hey, bring the camera and I want it to be at this exact height. And that is such a more efficient way of working, opposed to, okay, let's go lower. Oh, okay, actually put on the 32mm. Okay, no, actually 85, but over here. Your ACs or yourself is just gonna hate it. Doing that with a big bulky camera, why not do all that trial and error process with a viewfinder? So highly recommend it. Analog viewfinder, I think this will set you back maybe a few $100. This is made by Alan Gordon. They actually make a smaller, almost like pirate one where it can like telescope out. That's a lot cheaper. And if you have an old iPad laying around, get the cage that we'll link below. And this is a really great way to be on set. I prefer this because the Artemis is so much more accurate with these modern cameras and sensors and crop factors. So, but yeah, viewfinders are essential for sure. The next essential I want to touch on is something called a baguette. A baguette is essentially, as much as like it looks like, kind of looks like a giant hairnet. This is very useful if you are shooting in environments that might be, raining, dusty. This basically allows you to protect your gear, and lenses and cameras have open exposed ports like fans and areas where dust can tend to go in. And your camera, like I mentioned before, this is a huge investment. If you own your camera, it is wise to have stuff that helps you protect your camera. So the baguette, if you don't want to go buy, I like this one because it actually has like a built-in elastic band, which allows you to, it kind of contracts around your camera build. But if you are in dire circumstances, you can simply get like a hefty trash bag, cut it, tape it. This is just a little more clean because you don't need much tape because the elastic kind of sucks around the camera. But yeah, the baguette, totally recommend keeping one of these. Literally, I've been in locations where it just starts to rain out of nowhere, and being prepared to be able to wrap your camera and keep shooting is essential.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's it for this video. If you want to see more about lighting, camera gear, the business, everything cinematography and filmmaking, go check us out on learncinematography.com. Link will be in the description below. Go check out everything we have to offer. We're always updating and adding new content and just stuff all the time, and it's really exciting. And for those that are already part of it, thank you. You guys are already just so active in there and just such a dope community, and we just want to keep building this thing. So appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'm Jakob Owens for the Buff Nerds, and I'm out. Peace.